Bad to the bone. Bad to the bone. What is up, people? What's going on? Let me get a little mic check. 1, 2. What's going on, guys? Well, today we're going to talk about who's hauling the cheap freight. Everybody wants to know who's hauling cheap freight, and everybody keeps on getting accused of hauling cheap freight. I know I do. I've had a couple things been said to me over the last couple years, such as I'm an idiot, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm going to go bankrupt, yada yada yada. But my favorite one is people like me is the reason the industry is how it is today. People like me is why the rates are in the dumps. I just don't get it. But let's dive into something, guys, because I've been crunching some numbers and I want to see who's hauling cheap freight. I just want to see, you know, it's just a little thing of mine. Let's turn that off. I don't want no fan noise to interrupt what's going to happen here. And before I dive into this, I was talking to one of my good friends on the phone the other day about this, and just like I told him, I said, you know, I said the most important thing you can do with your trucking business is understand when dealing with rates and volumes in the freight market, there is no absolute. The only absolute is your expenses. That's the only thing you have control over. So knowing that, you set your business model up to adhere to it. I think that's the right word. Anyway, okay, for example, you know the greatest boxers in the world? You know the greatest boxers? The only ones that win championships, the world belts, the titles, are the ones that can take a hit. It's just like that with any other thing in life or any other business. If you can't take a hit, you don't need to get in the ring. And I say that to say this: there's up times and there's down times. If you can't take the hits and the down times, you don't need to be in the game. You don't need to get in the ring, because the down times are going to come just as sure as the sun's going to set in the west. You know, you got high times, you got low times in trucking. So always set your business up at the lowest possible amount. Me personally, I set my business model up at $1.25 a mile, and that way I knew I could withstand the down markets, but also in the up markets I knew I'd be golden and I'd make a lot more money. So just like I said, the only absolute is what you spend to make money. The only absolutes is your business expenses. I know there's some variables there, you know, but down to the core, it's just about absolute what you can spend. You know what you can spend if you set it up accordingly. Whereas freight volumes and rates, well, the rates are going to go up and they're going to go down. The volumes are going to go up and go down. Who's to know? There's no absolute on that. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, much less next week, much less next year, or even 5, 6, 7 years down the road. Yet people go and finance brand new trucks today based on $3 freight because they think it's going to be sustainable for the next 5 years. No. Because we're learning that right now, because last year people went out and bought new trucks, and with the markets how they were, they was gonna make great money, but all of a sudden market goes down. Anyway, I'm rambling on right now. I figured up some numbers on 3 different drivers. We're going to focus on 2 drivers, and the one driver, I'm going to use my numbers because that's what I know, and then we're going to use another driver as an example here only. But my numbers are $11.45 for a truck, $3.21 for a trailer, $9.39 for my insurance. And I'm just going to focus on those 3 right now. We'll get to the fuel in a minute. But that comes up to $2,404. Now you divide that into 10,000 miles a month. You know, the average trucker out here, long haul, does about 10,000 miles a month. That comes down to 24 cents cost of operation. What was that? Cost per operation? CPO. Let's call it CPO. 24 cents. Now on driver number 2 that goes out and gets a $3,000 truck payment, and he's got to have that new reefer, and he has, let's say, $1,800 invested in it, and $1,600. We're going to go low. $1,600 on insurance. That comes up to $6,400 a month cost of operation, CPO, 64 cents. Now, let's take those two scenarios. We both go to the marketplace. We both book a load at $2 a mile. Okay, with my 24-cent CPO versus his 64-cent CPO, I am netting before fuel $1.76 a mile versus his $1.36 a mile before fuel. So right off the bat, that's 40 cents cheaper per mile. So based on that math, every load that I book at $2, he has to book a load at $2.40 to net the same as what I'm netting. Now let's go a little step further than that, because you know this is all about who's hauling cheap freight. So what I've noticed over the past few years with owner ops, you've got the owner ops that's very conscientious about the fuel they spent, or the amount of money they spend on their fuel, and you got the ones that's just, you know, they just throw caution to the wind, and their level of thinking is, the faster I get to my next load, I'm gonna get another load, etc., etc. But let me imply something very important here. There's a huge difference between 5 miles of the gallon and 7 miles of the gallon. Based on $3, and I know the price ain't $3 everywhere, yada yada, but based on $3, the difference between 5 miles of the gallon and 7 miles of the gallon equates to about 20 cents per mile. So if this driver A that's conscientious about his business expenses and his fuel, he's spending about 40 cents a mile. So let's see here, $1.40 after $1.76 after his initial CPO, 40 cents goes to fuel. So he's still netting, after truck, trailer, insurance, and fuel, he's still netting $1.36 a mile. Pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. And I know I'm not going to include IFTA and taxes and IRP and all that stuff. We're just going to talk about truck, trailer, insurance, and fuel, the biggest expenses. But like I said, after that 40 cents spent, he's going to be looking at about $1.36 a mile net. Now the other guy that's got the high CPO, the 64 cents, he don't care about fuel. He's just hauling tail. So let's say he averages 5 miles of the gallon, because you know he wants to run 70 and 80 all day every day. So his fuel expenses are going to be averaging around 60 cents a mile. So that brings his net, after, on that same $2 a mile run, after his 64 cent CPO and 60 cents per mile of fuel, his net now is about to say $1. His net now is 76 cents. So with that math there, let's compare the two drivers. Driver 1, driver 2. If I'm pulling a load at $2 a mile, my CPO is 24, my fuel is 40, I'm netting $1.36. Now, if that other driver does the same scenario, now he has to pull a load at $2.60 just to net what I'm netting. So you get the math I'm putting in your ear here. So really, who's hauling the cheap rates? I mean, like I said, there's no absolute in the rates. The only absolutes is what you pay out to operate your truck, what you pay out in truck payment, insurance, trailer payment, fuel, the 4 majors. So with all that being said, I'm going to let you guys decide who's really hauling the cheap freight. And oh yeah, I said there's a third driver. The third driver is this. He's been in the industry a while. He's got his truck, his trailer paid for, he's got low insurance. Basically all he's paying for is insurance, plates and stuff. So let's say 9 cents a mile. Say he operates, you know, he's very conscientious about his fuel. He's spending 40 cents a mile. So he's operating all in for less than 50 cents a mile. So when he hauls $1.50 a load, he's still knocking down $1 profit net after everything. If he jumps up on the $2 mark, yep, he's killing us all. But here at the end of the day, no one is going to leave money on the table if they know there's money to be left on the table. Nobody's going to pull cheap freight if they know they can do better. That's why I put all my videos out and show people what they can get rates for. So let that sink in. I'll let you guys decide who's really hauling the cheap freight. I mean, I don't know. I'm just trying to figure it out. Oh yeah, let me add. So before I cut this video to an end, let me say this. If you set yourself up where you have to pull freight at $2.60 a mile, and you hate the guys that can pull freight at $2 a mile, before you think about calling them an idiot, or before you think about saying they're what's wrong with the industry, think about why you're pulling freight and why you have to pull freight at $2.60 and they can pull the same net at $2. Food for thought. Anyways, guys, you got to think how to rise. Winners never quit. Get it, boy? Winners never quit, and quitters, they never win. Catch you in the next video. See you, bye.